Hey everybody, this is your girl V Mayo, aka Mo Thoughts, and I want to welcome you tonight to another episode of Hot Chocolate Conversations. That is right, Hot Chocolate Conversations is back. Yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen, and it is back and better than ever. I am back. I am your host, V Mayo, aka Mo Thoughts, also known as Mo Thoughts Poet, and I want to thank you for tuning in tonight to this episode of Hot Chocolate Conversations when I am going to be discussing validation. The title of this episode is Validation 2025. And I am revisiting this topic because it hits home personally. I have had to revisit this topic and remind myself that validation is for parking. See, I used to look for validation from other people, from friends, from family, from loved ones, from people in the community, from new friends, old friends, and so on and so forth. But this week, I myself personally, I had to check myself because I found myself wanting validation from certain persons or people. And I'm like, wait a minute. I had to put my own self in check, as a good friend of mine would say. I had to put my own self in check because I was feeling ways that I hadn't felt before. And I'm sitting here like, why in the world am I seeking validation from a certain person or persons when you are the one that validates me? And I have really had to talk to God about that. I really had to pray about it. I really had to meditate and search within myself because I feel like I should know better. But I had to revisit, I had to reflect, I had to be like, okay, let me, um, look in the mirror at myself. And so I am revisiting this topic because I need to revisit it. And I know that a lot of you out there may go through that as well. And that's why I'm bringing awareness to this topic of validation and the importance of realizing that validation is for parking. I saw that on a Facebook post where somebody said validation is for parking. And that is so true. And no matter how many times I remind myself of that, I still find myself seeking validation from other people. And that's something that I had to work on personally within myself is not looking for validation from other people. I used to look for validation from friends. I used to look for validation for family and people at work and so on and so forth. But guess what? Those individuals that I was seeking validation from, they had their own things going on. They weren't even paying attention to what I had going on. So why in the world was I seeking validation from these individuals? And so I had to do a lot of self-reflection. And I realized that once again, validation is for parking. So today's episode is a transparent episode. And what I did to deal with the validation issue that I had arising these past few weeks is to first of all pray. I took time to pray and I took time to also read the word and I also took time to meditate and really think about why I was feeling the way that I was feeling. And a lot of the stuff that I was feeling was coming from childhood, wanting to fit in, wanting to be a part of somebody's group and somebody's circle. I find myself wanting to befriend people. And then when I befriend people and they don't always, open up so much, but I also have the realization of why, because, everybody doesn't open up to people right away. And I get that. I myself don't either. And so, it was a thing where I was reaching out to someone and, establishing friendships or wanting to establish sisterhoods and stuff like that with certain ones. But, I had to step back. I had to step back because I was taking things personally because this person was not like responding the way I thought and so on and so forth. But I realized, hey, that person doesn't know me like that. And it's okay. It's okay. If the person wants to reach out to me and be friends and have a sisterhood, then that's cool. I'm good with that because, a lot of times it's about divine connection. And that's what I pray for when it comes to connection with people is divine connection, not just on my part, but on the other person's part. But when God brings people into your life, He does it well. And I had to have so much gratitude for the people who are in my life already, who truly love me, who really, truly show up for me. So I'm thankful for the people who are in my life. I truly am thankful for the people in my life and those who are to come in my life. I'm thankful for those individuals as well. I'm thankful for the people who have been in my life in the past. I'm thankful for the people who are in my life now. And I thank God for the people who are going to be in my life. You know, that's where I'm at in life because I realized that we're not supposed to connect with everybody. But I realized the reason why I was feeling the way I was feeling is because it was stemming from childhood. It was stemming from wanting to fit in. When I was in middle school, I did not fit in with anybody. I was picked on every day in middle school, in sixth grade, in seventh grade, in eighth grade. And guess what? I'm friends with some of the people that I went to middle school with. But however, we were all young then, and now, everybody's grown. So that's something I had to let go of. I could not hold on to people who used to pick on me in middle school. Like they're grown, that was back then. But I had to work through, not just work under, work around, or work over, but actually work through how I was feeling and continue in my own healing process. So again, validation. A lot of people deal with validation issues, wanting to be validated by friends, wanting to be validated by society, wanting to be validated by other people. And see, I was looking for validation in new friendships, wanting to fit in, wanting to feel like I have a tribe. Because guess what? Sometimes I feel like I have a tribe and sometimes I don't. But a lot of times it's my perspective and how I look at things. And that's another thing I had to work on is how I show up and my perspective, and also looking at the other person's perspective as well. And so instead of trying to reach out and be a part of this person's circle or be a part, I chose to step back. I said, you know what, if this person loves me like they say they do and is a true sister and wants to get in, guess what, they will. It's all about divine connection. And I'm so grateful and thankful that I am in a good place in my life and I am still on my healing journey. And I'm being transparent today because, it's something that I wanted to share because I know a lot of you out there have been through, not fitting in, feeling like you have a tribe. Sometimes you feel like you have a tribe and sometimes you don't. That's the way I would feel a lot of times. But again, I'm thankful for the people who were in my life. I always stop and take time to thank God for the people who were in my life. And so that's where I'm at. So I just had to do this bonus episode of Validation 2025 and revisiting this topic that I started in 2023 when I talked about validation. And I also shared Colossians 2 and 10. We are complete in Him. Y'all make sure y'all check out that scripture. And I may come back and do a part 2 of this, but I just had to definitely share because just recently, I was dealing with some validation issues and really having to deal with those things and come to a good place with that. So I am so thankful and grateful. And I just wanted to share this with everybody today. This is a bonus episode revisiting the topic of validation. And the point that I wanted to bring is that you are complete in Him. God is the one that validates. If y'all didn't hear anything else, other than God is the one that validates. God is truly the one that validates. So I just am thankful for those who are tuning in to this episode of Hot Chocolate Conversations. This is a bonus episode and being transparent and sharing my story to help you all out there know that God validates. You do not have to look for validation in other people, places, or things, or in society. So again, this is your girl V-Mail, aka Mo Thoughts, and I thank you for tuning in to the bonus episode of Hot Chocolate Conversations. This episode is Validation 2025, Revisiting Validation. Thank you for tuning in. This is your girl V-Mail, aka Mo Thoughts, and until the next video.